Hello everyone. So the topic for today's class is to learn about black soils, the distribution, composition and characteristics of black soil. So let us begin. Now to introduce the soil, this black soil is one of the most important soils of India. Black soil and alluvial soil are very important soils of India. Largely found in major parts of India. So let us begin with a quick introduction to the black soil. So to first learn about black soil, now first, black soil is also known as black cotton soil. Now why do we call it as black cotton soil? Because cotton is one of the most important crop that grows well in this soil. So the first name that is given to black soil is the black cotton soil. The second name by which black soil is known as is rigor or lava soil. The reason why it is known as rigor or lava, it is because black soil is the Indian soil which is formed by the weathering of igneous or your volcanic rocks. So when volcano erupts, the lava comes on the surface, it cools down and becomes solid. So when it becomes solid, what happens? They start weathering, they breaking down. That leads to the formation of black soil. So that is why black soil is known as rigor or lava soil. And the third thing about black soil is that it is in situ in nature, meaning it is formed where it is found. So black soil is formed where it is found, whereas alluvial soil is ex situ, meaning it is carried by rivers from somewhere else. So ex situ meaning it is not formed in its place of origin. So that is a quick introduction to black soil. Now let us learn about the distribution of black soil. Now every time you get a question with respect to distribution, sometimes they ask you to name region or regions, and sometimes you ask to name states. So please be very careful to learn two regions and two states. So even if you get any, you can attempt both part of the question. Now the first thing, whenever you ask name two regions that you find where you find black soil. Now whenever we talk about region, the most important region is the Deccan Trap region. That's the Deccan Plateau region. Deccan Plateau region is the very important region, and the second region is the Malwa Plateau region. So if you ask to name region, you must write Deccan Plateau or Malwa Plateau region. The second thing is states. States most important, Gujarat and Maharashtra are your very important states where you find black soil. So black soil is mostly found in Deccan Trap region, the Malwa Plateau region, and with respect to states, you mostly find it in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Now the second thing that you must know with respect to region or states is that what is the reason for Deccan Trap being very popular for black soil. So the reason why Deccan Plateau is very famous for black soil is that because in the Deccan Plateau there used to be a lot of volcanic activity in the past, creating a lot of lava rocks. When these lava rocks would weather, it would form black soil. So that is the reason why you find black soil largely found in the Deccan Trap region. It is because of the volcanic activity in the past leading to the formation of black soil. So that is about your distribution of black soil. Moving to the next thing, your characteristics and composition. So let us begin with the characteristics. So first we will learn about the physical characteristics or the physical properties of black soil. So by physical means your color, your texture. So if you're asked to name two physical or describe any two physical characteristics, meaning you have to talk about the color, you can even write about the texture and any other properties. So let's begin with the first physical property or the characteristics of black soil is that black soils are clay in nature, meaning they have high clay content and they have high moisture holding capacity, meaning they can retain a lot of moisture. The second physical property is that black soil, it has to be immediately plowed soon after the first rain. So immediately after the first rain, when it gets wet, it is very important to plow the black soil immediately because later it becomes very difficult when it's sticky. So when it becomes wet, it becomes very sticky and it becomes very difficult to plow the black soil. That is why black soil has to be immediately plowed after the first rain. And the third physical characteristics of black soil is the color. So the color ranges from deep black to dark brown because of the presence of humus and iron. So that those are your physical characteristics or physical properties of black soil. Now moving to the chemical, here are two chemical properties. Chemical meaning your minerals. So chemical properties, whenever you're asked to write chemical properties, you must mention the minerals or the chemicals that are present in the soil. So let's see what is black soil rich in. Black soils are rich in iron, calcium, magnesium, lime, whereas it lacks, deficient meaning it lacks, it is poor in nitrogen, phosphorus and sulfur. So these two are your chemical properties. Moving to the next very important feature, black soil are often referred as self-plowing. Self is a very important word, meaning they do themselves, or self-manuring soil. Why are they known as self-plowing or self-manuring? Because during the dry season, what happens, the black soil develops deep cracks when they contract. So when they contract, they create a deep crack. So when they create a deep crack and contract, what happens, the topsoil falls into the crack, resulting in the mixing of the soil. So when this deep crack, the topsoil falls down and mixes with the subsoil. So the topsoil and subsoil mixes up and then resulting in a self-plowing capacity of black soil. So that is the reason why black soil does not require, you might get a question, black soil does not require much tilling. This is a term, tilling. Tilling meaning mixing or preparing the soil, because of its self-plowing capacity, because they do themselves, they mix themselves. That is why we don't have to till the black soil very much. And the last characteristics of black soil is that it does not get leached. Leach meaning the removal of topsoil. If you remember in the previous presentation, we've defined leaching. Leaching or leach means removal of topsoil. So black soil does not get leached because of its great moisture holding capacity, meaning they can really retain a lot of moisture. That's why the topsoil do not get easily washed away. Now crops grown, the two important crops that you must know, cotton and sugarcane. So please remember, cotton and sugarcane are two important crops that adapts really well to black soil. And you might get a question, black soil is very favorable for the growth of cotton, sugarcane. Why? So if you ask reason, you can talk about its self-plowing capacity. You can talk about how it is rich in different minerals. You can talk about moisture retentive properties. So those are some reasons you can write if you get a question on why black soil is best for cotton, sugarcane, and the other crops also that grows well. There are a few crops here that is mentioned, wheat, millets. So that is about the crops that grows well in the black soil. Now here are your regions, the Deccan Plateau region, the Malwa, this is the Saurashtra. So these are few areas or regions where you find black soil in India. Now here are a few questions for you to solve. Please ensure that you read the question very carefully and then answer what the question demands. For question number 3, differences between alluvial and black soil, you can talk about the differences related to their formation, how each are formed. You can talk about how one could be in situ and could be ex situ, or you can talk about any other characteristic, color, texture. Those can be your differences. So please read the question carefully and solve the question. If you have any doubt, concern, please feel free to WhatsApp or email your doubts or concerns. Thank you.